Salutations. So we're back once again, and we're back in Empyrion. And so this discussion is going to be around another idea, and a lot of the creativity is driven through a significant amount of gameplay. And so one of the things that me and Sandman, we were doing this like logistics thing. Let me see if Condor is it? I thought it was Connex, but um, let's see if Seven Up. I'm trying to remember. Uh, did I save it as Seven Up? No, I didn't. Okay, I got some Connexes in here that I've built, and um, let's see. This is one of them. I know this is one of them. Cobalt. Is it this one? Let me see. Spawn. I think it's this one. And let me see here. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, this is one of them, right? And so the construct behind this, and so for those of you who don't know, construct is is kind of an idea of a foundational idea, or it's the base understanding. So the construct of this is a connex. This is like a shipping container, and we try to use the existing stuff in the game to make a shipping container. And obviously, you don't have cranes, you don't have pistons, you don't have rotors, so you have to use your thrusters in order to move this thing around. And so the way that this works is this holds 32,000. Let me put the hand right, and you hit. We got to go to the thing. And you hit F, and all this thing is designed to do is to transfer cargo, and it holds the 32,000. And all this is, and we actually done a couple of these to where we just have the one landing gear. And the way this works is you go right here, and you can fly up. And let's say you want to, and we've done sideways ones too, to where they mount sideways. Okay, it's locked, right? Okay, now this is locked on here, and it's a way for me to quickly transfer materials. Let's turn this. Let's go into the ship. Okay, and I might have to add some fuel to this. Yeah, hit H. Okay, let's get some fuel going. I've also talked about a fuel rework, because the fuel, once you get into these large, because they've expanded out the galaxy, once you get into these large, I did not mean to do that. Once you get into these large ships, these class 9 ships, and because there's so much galaxy, you burn through a lot of fuel. And I think P. Let's go manage. Um, okay, right. And so now I can fly this thing around, right, and I can haul my cargo where I want, that is separate from the ship. Now, a long time ago, you used to be able to go into your menu here, and you used to be able to, if you were in a faction, you could drop this down to public. It was public. You could drop this down to public, and then everything that was attached to your ship would automatically fall off. And they took that out, but in a way, it created a gameplay dynamic. And sometimes they were exploited, but in some aspects, they were actually created a functional playstyle. So what we would do is we would take these connexes, right? So Sandman would be building the base, and I would be doing kind of the logistics material haul, right? I'd be hauling cobalt back to the base, and let's say hypothetically, man, this thing I got to upgrade the thrusters on this, but I'd be hauling over the base, and I want to be like, okay. And then what I would do is I would just fly over his location like this, and then I'd hit P, and I could hit private, and it would dump the load on the ground, it would dump the connex on the ground, and then he could go over later on and pick it up, and I wouldn't even have to land. I could just drop the connex on the ground and kind of do like that logistics run. And that was one way to kind of manage resources and create an economy, and shipping and material transfers, and kind of all that construct. And so it's kind of a workaround. Let me turn this off. Okay. it's kind of so something that happens is when you kill the power, all your plants immediately die, and they need to add like a 20-minute die timer on those. But so now this is the conics, right? So it works because you have landing gear, and you can attach the landing gear to vessels, and then you can use thrusters, so you can kind of cheese it. And so what I would like to happen is two things. One is I shouldn't have to get into this and fly this out. So if I did do that, I would like kind of a modular Connex kind of cockpit that I could put in here, and it looked like an industrial box, maybe say with some bars or some railing, that I could do like this creative industrial hauler Connex type of frame instead of a captain's pilot seat. Or the second thing that I would like is, instead of doing a cockpit, it's a drone head. And when I place the drone head on here, it acts as a cockpit, but the caveat is so I would only have the range of my Wi-Fi. And I've done videos about kind of a Wi-Fi rework, but let's say I'm right here and I'm doing all my logistics, and I just go, if I hit F4, I got my Wi-Fi, and I should be able to pick my Cobalt scanner, right? And then through here, I should be able to select my Wi-Fi, or maybe here I can select drone or controls, and then hit F5, and then I could move my cockpit, my cargo container around with my drone controls, and I realize there's a kind of a little bit of a rework there, but I think there could be a little bit more functionality in controlling objects with your drone if you have a drone head on your Connex, or on your, that way you could create kind of more disposable combat power. And of course, you'd be limited by your Wi-Fi range. And as I mentioned, I've done a video kind of on a rework on that. But I think that could, two solutions there to improve this experience with an industrial shipping cargo. Because if I could just be in my ship, let me go hit F5. If I could just be in my ship right here, right, and then you got the elevator, right, and then right here, okay, you come right here. If I could just be in my ship and then just hit F4, and then cargo, and then select drone control, boom, right there, and hit enter or something in this menu, and then control that drone while not even, or even I could do, even if it gave me the controls, if I hit F4 and I select, let's say I select this, it said drone controls, even if it just said eject, right, eject, or disconnect, I could hit disconnect, right click, and it would disconnect the landing gear from the ship while I'm still sitting in my cockpit of my main ship. And so if like right here, and if I go right here, if I had some controls, and I know you can get through that, you can kind of get to that through this. And if I select, if I go right here, and then I got my Cobalt, where's that Cobalt scan? Yeah, and then I can go to control panel, right? And then if I do this, well, it turned it off, but it didn't disconnect it from the thrusters, auto, pilot mode on, auto. So there's no way to break turrets. There's no way to break that landing gear from the device. So if I go right here, let's say cockpit, landing gear, okay, and if I select this, see, there's no disconnect option. I can't jettison that Connex from my ship at this point. And so that's a functionality that I would like to have added, is maybe even in here, if there was a disconnect either in here in the control panel, or if it was just as simple as if I hit F4 and I go in here and I just select cargo container and I select the 3 dashes, it opens up, it adds kind of a menu set to where or even if you just if it was if it added cockpit, like if there was a cockpit, in the drop down when I put a cockpit or a drone head on there, if I select that, then it opens up some default like landing gear disconnect, thrusters on, and just a little bit more subsect of control features. I know that's a little bit of a run on, and it's kind of a construct of an idea. And I'm doing it in video format because of the complexity of what I'm trying to articulate and describe in the scenario. But I hope this helps. I think it could improve the gameplay significantly. As always, thank you for watching.